Welcome to the Embodied Wisdom Podcast.
So I got to ask you, I want to dive right into this.
Yes.
Is there any such thing as soulmates? Like, is there any, and when I say soulmates, what I mean is one person for every human being.
So I'm a woman of faith. And in the oral Torah, which is part of the Old Testament, it says that there's 7 potential soulmates. And when I learned this out, I was like, oh, dang, this makes so much sense. So we have 7 potential soulmates, and essentially like how far we grow or become enlightened or work on ourselves or go within, we just basically like level up until we have the potential to match our number one soulmate. And when I learned this concept, it's called Zivug Hagon in like original Hebrew. And I was like, that's what I want. I don't want any other option. I want my number one potential. And so I really had that vision and the truth that there could be many people for me, but I want the best one who is here to have the easiest life and to also help me fulfill my purpose. So in answer, I very much believe that there is like the best one for you, that there is your true highest level soulmate. And that's very much from where I work with the women.
So then I guess we gotta ask the deep questions. How do we find that one? How do we get into the frequency? Because everything is frequency, right?
True.
How do we get into the frequency of attracting that perfect number one, right? Of the 7, how do we get the number one option?
It comes from first believing it, right? You have to believe you're deserving of only good.
Yeah.
If you can really believe that, you're already like far past your traumas in the sense that your traumas don't define you. They're just there to inspire you, but not to take you down. So one of the things that I teach my clients is like, if you can believe you're 100% effed up and 100% lovable, like you're already so close to where you need to be. Most of the time, single women go, well, my dad died, my mom died, my dad was an addict, my mom was like, they always have their trauma story, whichever version it was for them. And then they go, and therefore I'm not that worthy of like my highest. Like I'm not that worthy because, I come from this and I have that. It's like, no. You're 100%
I love that.
effed up like us all. And 100% lovable, and nothing from what you did or from where you came can ever reduce your deservability of true and powerful love.
Dude, I love that. I actually really, really fucking love that. Sorry, I don't filter myself. I don't want you to filter yours, but it's saying and instead of or. It's not, oh, I'm broken, but I'm whole. It's saying and I'm broken and I'm whole. There's a version of me because we have so many multiple layers to ourselves as human beings in all the different densities, right? It's like, it's not an or thing, it's and. So I love that. And if they can accept, right, that, yeah, I got this shit side. I'm totally effed up, but then on the other side, I'm whole and complete. Because what I believe is I believe that we chose coming into this carnation, we chose the traumas that we chose our parents, we chose the traumas, we chose those big things that we were going to have to conquer. And when we look at it from a reverse perspective, it's like, why would I have chosen this? And for me, I'm like, oh, I chose all that trauma, that childhood full of trauma, full of pain, full of wounding, so that it would wake me up to find the truth, right? To heal myself, to find the true meaning of life, me, everything, to do what I do now. Like I needed that. And so when you look at it from that perspective, it's like taking all the responsibility on yourself. But I love this idea of, these 7, because I'm very, I've studied the Bible my whole life, and the Torah is the first, 5 books?
Yes.
Of the Bible. And so I've studied the Old Testament quite a bit. So I'd love to dip in with you about like what book of the Bible has this mention of these 7 soulmates.
It's called the Gemara, which is an oral Torah. And I need to find the exact source for you, but it's called the Gemara, which is a section of the first 5. And when I learned that, it was just so eye-opening to me because then you have a goal. And then you can also check yourself when you meet people and you're like, is this the person I worked so hard for? Is this the person that I went through all my pain to transform for? And a lot of times, if we don't have this highest potential, this like,
Hmm.
know, biblical passion of like what I'm truly here for in my soul, because the truth is we're all going to die. You might as well live in the best way possible. Then it's very hard to like let go of the almosts. What I have as one of my concepts that I teach my clients is this concept called but maybe. It's when you meet your almosts or maybe like a lower of your seven, like not your number one.
Almost. I love that.
And you're like, he's cute or hot or rich or whatever. And something goes wrong. But then you're like, but maybe he was just tired, or but maybe he's still healing from his ex, or but maybe, and you give this big excuse as to why it should work out, but really it's a form of settling. So having your highest potential in your head, you can then use that as a guide and like a light and a goal of like, is this person who I feel safest that I've worked so hard for?
Mm.
And it shifts your potential of
God,
like willing to settle or
I
not.
love that because, I have so many women that come to me and they're like, hey, I've done my inner work. I've been on my journey. I've been doing all the things. Where are the men that match my energy? And the truth is, it's all caught up in the belief system. So I love that you go directly to that, and I love the way that you sort of organize that because it's so black and white. Like, hello, are you settling in some way? So when someone meets someone, and do they already have their like list of like this is what I want? Is it a detailed list? And then you're like, hey, do they have do they have everything on the list, or is it a percentage of the list? And then another question that could go hand in hand with this one is, have we met quite a few of the seven, like top, like three of the seven? Like what's up with that? Are they in our life? Okay, I just asked you like 10 million questions within that, but you take what you want to answer within that.
No, I love it. I love all of it. This is literally what I've devoted my entire life to. So everything is fantastic that you're
Okay.
asking. Yes, 100% you have a list. You cannot know who you are and what you want. Like any entrepreneur, any business owner, any manifestor, anything they said, how can you get what you want if you don't know what it is? So the first thing is you definitely need to make a list and a long list. And also very, very famous people like Tony Robbins, Bob Proctor, Layla Hermosi, who took Tony Robinson's course. These are all massive people. Use this as well. And they created a list of exactly, and I had this whole concept that I was teaching way before I knew all these other cool people did it as well and taught this way as well. You make a list of everything you want, and then you become that. If you say you want someone who's soft spoken and not critical and gentle with you when you screw up, then you have to be like, oh, am I critical and gentle with myself when I screw up?
Ooh.
Oh, well, how the heck am I supposed to attract that if I am not that? Oh, I want someone who's sober and financially stable. Well, I'm still asking like all my friends for money and I smoke pot every night. Oh, like how can I attract someone who's sober and financially if I'm not that? So you make your long
So
list
good.
and you get darn clear and you get specific and you get highest potential of love status. And then you say, where's my growth right here? Because every woman that I spoke to said, I love myself. I'm on my healing journey. I've been on it for so long. Okay, and go make your list and see where you need to get a little more aligned.
Yeah.
God doesn't make mistakes and he's perfect with his timing.
Yeah. That's good stuff, Queen. That's real good stuff. Okay. So how long have you been married? I want to hear your story. Like, I want to hear your background, how you got into this. Like, tell me all the things about you that took you from there to here. To give us the hero's journey, the short version.
Hero's journey. I'm now in my 8th year of marriage. This March will be 8 years, and then going into the ninth after that. But I'm in my 8th year of journey. I have a 4.5 and 6-year-old. I have a pretty magical life, but then it didn't always start there. So I was 26 years old and I was always someone who was very into relationships and love and marriage. People were like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, a mom and a wife, clearly. Like, that's obviously the best way to have the most amount of fulfillment. And then I was 26 and the guy I was dating, I got so excited. He came over. I made him breakfast. I got all dressed. I printed out stuff for us to read together. And he like stumbles in so unexcited for everything I did. And he proceeds to tell me that he's going to break up with me to go do drugs upstate New York because I always said, choose me or drugs. And he always chose me, but it was always full of shit. And then he told me, you know what? Like, I just want you to know I'm going upstate New York. I'm going to go do drugs at this festival and we're breaking up. And we've been together for a long time. I think I'm going to marry him, that whole thing. He leaves and I'm in like fetal position, like crying on my bed, straight up numb. But at the same time, God blessed me with a moment of divinity where I said, how did I attract the situation? How did I create, manifest, bring this scenario where I'm on my bed crying and I just got abandoned? And obviously, everyone knows that these patterns, that was not the first time that happened in our relationship or in my life. So I asked myself, how did I attract this? What belief systems do I have that created this? And then I became obsessed with the 12-step program and with learning how do two people attract each other. So if you can have one woman who has an alcoholic father with rage issues, how does she walk into a room and then an hour later, out of like 300 men, she walks out with the one man who, when they get married, is an alcoholic with rage issues that's going to hit her just like her dad? It's like, how? I became obsessed with learning the how people attract each other, why two people choose each other. Let's say there's 4 guys who are all the same look. They're identical in physical attraction. They all look the same. But one of them will kind of be a little bit unavailable and not so interested in you. One of them will be interested in you. What makes you feel attracted to a person that's when you guys sync up? So I studied it at length. Hi, cutie patootie. I see your cutie. And there's like a whole stack of books behind me. I've read all these books and there's many, many, many more. So I became an avid expert in attraction, relationship, addiction, and codependency until I learned it so much that I changed my whole environment, my whole life, and then I attracted my amazing husband that I am now married to.
Oh, I love that. Do you believe that everyone should be married? Do you think that's a path for everyone?
I mean, I do. I don't think you're destined for loneliness. I think that people who don't want to be married usually have a trauma of a relationship that makes them, that they live off of, that they don't feel close or safe being intimate or being loved. And so I do believe that we are here to unify, to come with a companion, and that the best way to grow in life is with a safe space where you're truly loved. But someone who marries you in a healthy way, right? That's number one potential we're talking about. That's safe love. Just most people live and die without ever healing from their active addictions or codependency. So they never understand that safe love exists enough to really want to pursue that. But in answer, I do. I think that we all have a beautiful soul who's meant to help us feel safe during the dark times of life in a committed way.
Yeah. And what's interesting about, I've been with my husband 19 years now. And what I've noticed is these times of growth, right? There's times of like, because for the majority of that time was very toxic relationship. We both had really traumatic childhoods. When I came on my healing journey is when everything in our marriage shifted, in my family shifted, right? But we've gone through these times where we grow, like sometimes he grows, sometimes I grow. We do this like thing. The attraction part is so fascinating. But what I notice is like here I've had this massive growth, right? And being really honest, sometimes I wonder if my husband is ready to bounce up to that level. Right. And so it kind of keeps you in this frequency if one is not ready to rise up with the other. So what happens there in that relationship when there's that like sort of push and pull and tug?
I mean, that's a there. So people ask me this all the time, like with married, with where how we started the
Yeah.
conversation with married people. And I said I don't enjoy working with that because sometimes divorce is better and it's a very uncomfortable topic. But I basically say it usually like this. If there's kids involved, it's already a different topic. If
Yeah.
he has active addiction, so basically if there's kids involved, it's a little bit more of a tricky topic. If he has active addiction, it's not a tricky topic. You should not be married to this person.
Yeah.
If he has, oh, so you go.
Oh, no, go ahead. You weren't done with your thought.
Oh, if he has active mental health issues that he's not taking medication for, not going to therapy for, and it's like really at like a personality disorder that is constantly someone's living with a lot of triggers and unpredictable behavior and outbursts. Their environment isn't safe and predictable. They probably should not be married. But what you're saying, like
Yeah,
leveling up,
yeah,
it's
what
like
I'm saying is like, it's what I see with my clients too. When they come to me here, you're leveling up, leveling up, leveling up. And you're like, well, when is that? When is it going to match? And is it going to match? And that's what I'm seeing right now because we have such a rapid rise in the frequency on the planet. It's going so fast that things where before you had this gap, but now it feels like a huge gap. And you're like, okay, what do I do with this gap? So that's what I'm finding with a lot of my clients that are married. They're just finding that those gaps are feeling way bigger. I guess that's what I'm asking.
I would go to your end of your life. Look, I would go to your end of your life. I don't know if there's one straight answer for this. This is just the answer I'm giving you now. And I would obviously need to know more of where you're really at, what the frequency difference is, how it plays out in practical application of life, and all the other stuff. But as a general answer for the lack of details that I have, I would say go to the end of your life and back.
I like that.
And do I really want to die with this person? Sometimes people come into our life for phases. And I know marriage is a big deal, but a lot of times people come into our life for phases, for opportunities for growth, for shit we need to learn,
Yeah.
again, and so sometimes it's not always best to stay married because y'all can just love each other and still appreciate your time together without any hatred or malice,
Yes.
but then also evolve to a point where you're better alone and then in another relationship that's much greater. But the only way you can tell is if not only way, one of the ways is to go to your end of your life and back and be like, is this really the person that I want to live and die with next to me? Like, is this
Yeah.
my soul's peaceful purpose?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was kind of getting at. Some people, it serves you for a minute, right? It's like you came together, you worked through a lot of your stuff, and then you come to the place where it's done, right? You've cleared that stuff up, you've grown, you've done the work, you've done the things, and you're just at the end of it, right? And I love to see people go peacefully. And I've had the same experience with my clients where it's like, but what if you could just part ways with so much love and gratitude for what you created together? Kids, the light, the healing, right? What if you could just sort of go your own separate ways with so much love and it doesn't have to be this horrible split, but it could be like honoring what it was. And that's what I'm seeing everywhere in my world. Um, as well as the woman, I see that scenario a lot. And I see the woman who's doing all her work, clearing all her trauma, and she's like looking for her match and she's struggling to find it. So for that woman, let's dive into her. What is the work that she really needs to do to get to the bottom of what she's doing to repel? I love the list thing. Be that thing that you want to be. You may lie to yourself and say, oh, well, I've done my work. I am this thing, but write down pen to paper, write down the list and get so clear and then become that, right? So that is a great tool in anyone's toolbox. But what are some other tools that a woman can do who's on her healing journey that could be just as beneficial?
I would say ask God for what you still need to learn, what you still need to do single. Being single is a totally different practical and spiritual application of life for getting healing done, stuff done. So I would say, like, God, I would always ask God when I was single, and I was single way longer than I wanted to be. But I'd say, God, like, what more do I need to do? And then I would get an answer. I'm like, oh, I need to do this. I need to do that. I'm like, okay, God, I'll go do that. Because again, you can't really do everything once you're married, especially first year marriage, especially once you have kids. So I would ask God, like, what more do you need to do? I would ask the universe to remove any blockages. I would just know that God, like timing is in God's hands. The fear, I have my own, company and clients, and I just sent them this Instagram post that says like, what you want to come to you happens when you relax. And what I want to say in answer to your question is, if you are in a lax state, like, oh, I don't know if God's here. I don't know if God really loves me. I don't know if there's really a soulmate. I don't know if there's really a man. I don't know how long is this going to take. My life is so like, if you're really not relaxed, like you don't believe that God's got you, that there is like that your husband's, it's very hard to attract when you're giving out masculine energy, which is like more dominant and external versus feminine and worthy. And the way that I give an analogy is women are lighthouses. Like we are supposed to stand still, strong, stable, and bright. Like we got ourselves, we love ourselves, God got us, we're here. We don't need a man. It would be great, but I'm not going to fall apart without it. And the men are the ships that come to us. Like,
What? That
like
is so funny. So she's the lighthouse. The men are the ships. They come in, they go out. The really the number one guy, he's gonna find your light when it's really bright, even if he's all the way across the ocean. So make sure your light is bright. And how do we get our lights bright?
you learn to love yourself unconditionally. You're
Yeah.
not any more lovable when you're married. You're not any more lovable when you lose 5 pounds. You're not any more lovable if you get a Botox injection or a breast implant or highlights. Like women are very much commonly mistaking attention for love or attention for worthiness. Like your looks don't
That's a
impact
post
your
right
worth.
there. That's a post
Hashtag.
right there. That is like a good one. Women, what say that again? Women,
Often mistake their sense of love and lovability for attention
yeah.
and for how they look or what they are doing.
Yeah, that's so good and so true. I mean, what is it within us that just desires to be beautiful and desires to be attractive? Like, what is that within us? Like, what's that dynamic?
I really believe it's a social. Kids don't feel that. Like no kid
You're
when they're
so right.
4 or 5 is like, mommy would love me more if I put on makeup or if I wear a certain dress. Like it's so indoctrinated in effed up American society. With every marketing, you will not buy any beauty product if they don't first market and make you believe you're not enough without it. So American society and most societies, the marketing and the culture, the pharmaceutical companies, I mean, the doctor system, the educational system, the transgender, the guy, everyone's telling you're not enough, change this. Change your body, change this. You're good, not enough, change that. You're not worthy, you're not getting enough attention, more makeup, more. Like our whole society is literally a consumer-based massive marketing world that
Yeah.
if they don't give you the belief that you're not enough and lovable as you are, there wouldn't be billion-dollar economies on makeup and this and hormone, all that
Oh,
stuff.
so true. Oh my
So
gosh.
we need to first know we're enough. And anyways, our soulmate's going to love us not for how we look. They'll be attracted to us, but they're going to love us not for how we look, but for who we are, the things that truly cannot change.
Yeah. And I think that goes to the spiritual aspect of us. It can't be, if we think we are just the reflection looking back at us in the mirror, right? If we think, oh, that's me, that's what I am, is if that's all you are, is just a body, then that thing it goes, right? But if you don't tap into the greatest part of you, that spiritual, that soul aspect of you, the oversoul, the one that has it's never been created nor destroyed. It's eternal in nature. That part, if you don't tap into that, I don't think you can ever really know your worth. To me, because if you are here and you exist, then that means that all that is needed you to exist to be all that is. You can't not be not worthy. Like you just fucking are worthy, right? You're here. So how do we get to the place where we accept ourselves as worthy and see ourselves as the greater aspect of what we are, rather than just the reflection in the mirror, the one
Through
that changes, the one that eventually expires?
through proof of action. Like love is action based, it's giving. So in Hebrew, the word ahava, which is love, the root of it is hav, which means to give. And so you need to give to yourself. If you're either doing drugs or alcohol or pornography or with a bunch of men who aren't really loving you but using you, if you're constantly on Instagram, like your life is full of actions essentially. When you wake up to when you go to sleep, it's full of massive decisions and actions. And so you need to look at your environment that you're in, as well as the actions that you're taking, and saying, am I proving myself that I love myself, or am I hurting myself? You can say a million times, I love you, I love you, I love you. But if you're also hurting them, right? Like so many abusive relationships do this. I love you, but then you don't know where the heck they are and they abandon you, or they're too high for you, or they cheat on you, like, and they equate abuse and love, and it's so distorted. And women have this too. I love myself, but also I'll, whatever, drink a bottle of wine when he left me. And what do you mean? If he left you and you believe you're worthy, then you thank God he left so you don't waste more time with them. And then you don't drink a bottle of wine or a joint or go out with your friends until you plastered. Like you nurture yourself. You write down what you need. You ask yourself, what do I need to learn from this? You approach your pain instead of run away from it.
Whoa.
So it's in those actions that you give yourself that prove whether you're worthy of love, because you've now given your attention back to you instead of trying to seek and prove it out through external sources.
So freaking good. That's so freaking good. I say the same thing, very different words, but that was so beautifully said. It's like, if you believed that you were worthy, how would you act? If you believed that you were lovable, how would you act in this situation? How would you act? What would you do on a regular basis? How would you show your love to you if you truly believe that you're lovable? Because a lot of people have been very upset when I'm like, you're just not loving yourself. And they're like, what do you mean? It's like, well, would you be doing these things if you valued and loved yourself so deeply, so unconditionally? Would you be doing these things? Probably not. Right? So I love the action part of it, because action is just telling you what your beliefs are, is what it is. You're learning about you through what you're attracting in your life. So the action part is very important.
And I just want to add the protection part. So the action is like the things you do for yourself, and the protection part is the things you move away from. So if you have a friend who's very toxic and she's always complaining, or she's always this, like, it's great that you love her, she's your friend, and end the friendship. And if you have a relative who's constantly beating you up and saying, why are you not married yet? Or why are you overweight? Or why are you this? Or how come you don't have a better, like, stop talking to that relative for a while. Like, it's not an asshole thing. You need to understand that if you don't learn how to protect yourself from people who are taking your energy, you'll never have enough energy to give yourself to get to that state where you truly believe you're lovable. So a big part of that is learning healthy boundaries and protection.
Oh, you are so right. The protection piece it's huge. And not a lot of people value themselves to that level to be like, hey, let me assess this. Who's actually around me? Like one thing I have my ladies do is, what do you feel like when you leave that person's presence? Be so tuned in to your emotional, because I like to use emotions as like the calibrator. What do you feel like when you're with this person and when you leave their presence, right? And how many of those things, and it could be a task. It doesn't have to be a person. It could be a task, but start to just calibrate your emotions based on what you're doing and where you're at and how you feel directly after that event. How else do you think people can really like tune into those boundaries?
Yeah. So I actually have a masterclass I'm just going to drop it. It's actually tomorrow at 12. We're doing it weekly. But if you go to epiclovemasterclass.com for all the single women who are business owners, You can join that. It's free and it's a 1 hour webinar. So epiclovemasterclass.com. And the reason I say that is because it's in response. I break it down on how you can tell within 24 hours after the first date if this person is going to hurt you or help you. And part of that,
Well, that's good.
I know, I'm so proud of myself. And part of that, because it's necessary to have structure instead of being confused. So part of that is seeing how you feel after the date. Like, are you focused on him or are you focused on yourself? Did he drain your energy or did he give you energy? Also, the ratio of speech during the date. Did you speak the whole time and try to get a little bit of him out of it? Did he speak the whole time of his big plans and all the amazing things he wants to do? And you were just kind of there as a cheerleader to like support his big self? Or was there like an equal flow back and forth? So you can actually see it through ratios of speech. And also within 24 hours, if he does not contact you to say, hey, I really like you. I had a great time. When would you like to go out again? Just Thursday work? He doesn't want you or he's not ready to commit. And you don't have to judge it. What's wrong with me? Am I not pretty enough? But we had a great time in our conversation. No. If he doesn't contact with you, if he doesn't contact you within 24 hours after the first date saying, I liked you, I had a great time, when works to go out next, his behavior or lack thereof is 100% a clear communication that he's either not ready to get married or commit to someone, or he's just not interested in you. And that's not a bad thing because, as we said, we really only have one true soulmate, and men know that too. So be more clear instead of pushy, and you'll get a lot faster with moving through life and relationships until you get to the right one.
Yeah, I love that. Those are you. I love the sort of clear guidelines to make it so clear, and it's so true. If that guy is not all over your shit, making it very, very clear. I mean, men are very simple, you know. If
They
they're
are.
all over your shit, then they're just not. And you, like you said, don't make it about you. It's a chemistry thing. That's what I tell my kids. I have teenage daughters now. I'm like, this is pure chemistry. Like there is a chemistry, even in friendships, in every relationship. Like, for instance, on this podcast, there's people that I have on that I have so much chemistry with. Like I feel that with you. And there's some people that come on and there's not really much chemistry, and that's okay. But it's like, it's just all like energy at the end of the day, and it's not bad or good. Everyone can't light you up. It can't be like green lights everywhere. You gotta have some red lights. It makes life spicy and exciting. And also we don't want to be like, life is all about this, the ebbs and flows. We don't want to be on a high all the time, and we don't want to be on a low all the time. It's all about that sort of wave.
And a lighthouse doesn't chase that ship, right? If that ship says, sorry, honey, I gotta go, she's a lighthouse. She stands strong, knowing her worth.
Yeah.
It's only if she doesn't know her worth, she's like, hold on, let me shut my light off and chase you. You know, that's someone who doesn't know her worth, who's
Oh,
masculine. And we just need to understand, like, 99% of every guy that you ever date is not going to be your highest potential of soulmate. There's only one. So get used to rejection as God's form of communication, that it's a clear redirection to the next one who, again, might be the right one, but you have to feel safe and secure, not feeling less than just because someone didn't want you. If you really want you, you can stand there bright and knowing at the right time, it'll be smooth and peaceful.
ooh, I love that. So as we're in this, time in history where we have the feminine rising, right?
Yes.
And it's totally, I think, just throwing everything off, right? Marriage doesn't look the same. Relationships don't look the same. People aren't getting married as much, and they're not staying married as long. And I'm just seeing we're trying to calibrate to this new system, right? I don't think the old one. I had a conversation with a guy that came on my podcast, and he's like, "It's got to go back to the way that it was." I'm like, I don't think it ever will. But how do we calibrate to the new system? And what do you think that marriage is going to completely go away? Do you think it's going to shift? Do you think it's going to evolve? Because 100 years ago, 200 years, we were property. We weren't even human beings. We were property to the men. So how do you see this whole shift.
Funny that you say property because when I first married, like first month in, I made a video with the tagline saying I'm so glad to be his property. And I got such hate. I mean, I did it intentionally because it's a catchy headline.
Yeah, it's a hook.
But
It's
it's a
like,
hook. Thank you. It's a hook. But the truth is this. I mean, I'll answer your question, but just because you said that word in it. So in Jewish religion, you actually do have a contract with the man when you get married, that he is contractually obligated to take care of you. He is contractually obligated to make sure you're fed. He's contractually obligated to treat you better than he treats himself and provide for you financially and not pressure you to have sex and all this. There's a contract that you get under the chuppah, under the wedding altar, that it's like legally binding in the religion. And a part of that, though, is not that you belong to him, but essentially you belong to him. So the issue with that is that for you to leave the marriage, you need his consent, which most men do. Obviously, there's issues, and then there's also community things that prevent that from happening the best. But the issue with that is, I mean, or the blessing of that, or the thought of that is the reason I made that video is because at the end of the day, and Brene Brown, who's, Brene Brown, the freaking dankest woman in the world. Brene, we're best friends. Anyways, she speaks about this a lot. All of her data says that people are craving belonging. So property is like a shitty word because it seems so
yeah, and maybe it is the word
hierarchical
because like it's the and I think too there has just been a shift. I think the masculine just got too much power, right? Because as you're
But
explaining,
the woman took the masculine. The women are way more masculine now than the men.
well, yeah, because it's the swing, right? Like when you go so far to the left, it's got to have the same swing. This is just momentum, right? And I think that we're going to get down, down, down till we get to like that neutral level where we're both equal partners. We both own our giftings. We own who we are, right? We're so full of ourselves and we allow them to be so full of themselves and we do this beautiful dance. But it can't ever look like the old system where he is like, hey, I make the money, you do it my way. I don't care if you like it. I'm going to whatever. I think they got too masculine in the fact that they got too puffed up. They got too much control. And now here we're going to the opposite where the woman is like, right, the aggressor in her masculine. But I think we got to get to that center where it just gets to be, right? So how do you see that happening?
I think, in continuation, I think that women have to know belonging is a good thing. I still think, again, property is not the right word, but belonging.
I can't believe you wrote a post. I'm his property.
I was so fucking happy because I worked my ass off to surrender to a man. And there's a lot of books and research on this. You want to have a happy marriage, find someone you can surrender to. Not physically. We're not talking about what you were talking about. We're talking about emotionally. You feel so safe. And also all the research on intimacy, why people have sex issues, cheating, all of this shit always comes down to can you or cannot surrender emotionally to your partner, meaning you feel so safe, your whole physiological body relaxes that
Right.
you don't want to, you're not zoned out when you're having sex, you're not thinking about cheating, you're not this, you're not hugging all the up. Like when you actually have true safety and calm in your relationship. Like, I know where he is. I trust his character. I trust his moral. If he was walking down the accidental strip joint, he would never go in. And I don't even worry about that. If he doesn't speak to me for an hour, I know his character so strongly based on his predictability that I am so safe and trusting in this marriage that I'm so glad this is where I belong. And if women understood that you can shift their belonging into a positive source, A, they can relax and stop trying to push a man to want them. And B, they can be so not afraid of leaving a relationship that isn't so right for them. Women are extraordinarily fear-based right now that they don't know how to handle abandonment. So they keep chasing things that really they should abandon because they have a lack of connection with themselves and God. If you keep abandoning yourself, A, you're going to attract someone who's going to abandon you. But B, you're so scared of it happening because it's like kind of like a death. But the reason I wrote that post is I am so grateful, and I worked my ass off to get into this extraordinary marriage. I trust Adam with everything. My body, my soul, my kids, my money, my health. He is actually the most safest space I could have ever dreamed of and more. I am so glad that I belong to him metaphorically, spiritually, whatever, because every woman knows you're a fucking shitstorm sometimes. You're like emotional, you're postpartum, whatever. Women are beautiful, magical, high and low creatures. And if you have a man where you don't truly belong, he will give and withdraw his love based on how you show up. A real, true, healthy marriage with a stable man who's predictable and calm and safe, where you truly surrender, does not withdraw and give his love based on how or what you do, but for truly who you are. That is the greatest gift I've ever been given, which is what I teach my clients to want and how to get. And that is the power of surrender and belonging. It's so powerful.
Yeah, no, that's so beautiful. It's just that what's the percentage of men do you think that are ready to step into that role?
The same percentage as women, small. And I wouldn't go into percentages because, yes, everyone now has active addiction. And in my opinion, most people have active addiction and active codependency, and they don't even know what it is. I was
Yeah.
26. I owned my own house. I had 2 degrees. I had a fit body. I had everything society tells you. And I was broken and I was addicted to the highs and lows of love without even knowing that that was an addiction. I was so sick in my head, but to the world, I was so successful. The world needs to teach people how to shift and redefine their levels of success and worth. And until that happens, yes, there's still a small percentage of women and a small percentage of men who will really fit that. But that's why I'm here to help make that a larger percentage.
Yeah. Well, I love that I'm seeing a lot more men, especially with my podcast, having these men on that are doing their inner work. And they're like digging in. And they are creating these really beautiful relationships because they're going inside of themselves and healing that little boy within them. And so I think it all starts with the healing process. I say, no matter where you're at, whether you're married, whether you're single, no, wherever you are, it's about going within yourself and healing those wounds, because we're all carrying the wounds from childhood. If we have not gone in and started addressing those wounds, we still got them. And I've been on my journey for quite a while, and I still come across layers of pain. So it's endless. As long as you're in this, DNA, this particular meat suit. But that to me is the key component to having a beautiful relationship. Until you've healed those woundings within yourself, until you find those beliefs that you hold in your subconscious mind, you cannot really attract a very healthy partner, because you yourself are not healthy.
And it does start with that belief. I'm 100% effed up and lovable. And if you can even just start there, and we're always healing, like you said. Even though I'm in my amazing marriage and I have my phenomenal kids, and my little 6-year-old grabs a mic and she goes, I love myself. I appreciate myself. I take care of my body. Things I learned when I was like 20 something years old.
That's so cute.
It's so cute. But I still have issues. Like my mother-in-law is here. I have to deal with that layer, right? Control. We love being in control. So it's not like you're ever 100% healed. Like if you're alive, you're here to grow. But if you can know that your traumas do not define your worth and your lovability, you can still match someone who's truly amazing, no matter what has happened to you or what you've done yourself.
Duh. Hello. Okay, this time has gone by very, very fast. And we have loads more that we could talk about. I mean, probably forevermore. So tell everyone where they can find you, and all the things if they want to connect.
So if you want to connect, you can go to connectwithchaya.com. That's my actual booking link to just hop on a call. No frills, no thrills. And it's connectwithchaya, CHAYA.com. And then join my masterclass. I am now doing a webinar on how to get this so clear. Just to be transparent, of course, I upsell at the end of the webinar to take a course, but the actual webinar is free. But you can't get the healing if you don't put in your investment into yourself. Like no great person has ever reached greatness without a coach or a mentor. And this is my niche, businesswomen, entrepreneurs who are single and want to attract epic love. So you can find me on Instagram at Epic Love Expert or join the masterclass at epiclovemasterclass.com.
I love that you said that. Yes, I'm going to try and sell you at the end.
Well, just to be
I
real,
love that.
you
No,
can't
I
go
love
anywhere
that.
if you don't invest,
Well,
right?
no. And I tell everyone, I'm like, you could take the long route. Okay.
Right.
I did that. I took the very long route, didn't want to hire anyone. But when I started hiring someone to hold my hand, take me through it, take me to the dark places that I would have never gone myself, then you are going to be stuck in the same old cycles. You may shift small over the years, but you're not going to shift nearly as fast as if you say, hey, I resonate with you. Please teach me how to have this thing that you have. It's like, hello, take the shortcut.
And I just started this new set of clients that came to me through God. Some of them are 70, like one of my clients now who's an active client, she's 74 years old. And after 2 sessions with me, one mastermind and one private session, she ended like a 6, 7, 8 month long relationship with a narcissist. And of course, that's a repeat pattern for her whole life. After 2 sessions, she finally broke a pattern. She's had her
Wow.
whole life and she's 74. So, guys, this is one of the things that if you don't learn, it does not come with time or trial and error. It only comes through education.
Wow. What do you do in these sessions?
So the private sessions, I do deep dives, like pieces of pie, how to spot a narcissist, how to spot someone who's an active addict, how to love yourself. And so I do like sections of courses. And then I also have a mastermind, which is a weekly private coaching call every Monday at 12 p.m., where there's powerful, vulnerable shares. And then each week we go into another powerful topic of forgiveness, anger, how to set boundaries. And it's just and it's a community. So we also have a WhatsApp group that's part of this mastermind. And so they feel like this accelerated version of vulnerability, as well as seeing different people heal simultaneously to really give them that
Oh,
amplified
yeah.
experience.
It's way more, it's so powerful when we can come together and we can learn from each other's experience. Because a lot of times you don't have the words and someone comes out and says, this is what I'm going through. And you're like, oh, me too. Yeah. It's so powerful to heal alongside a tribe. It's everything, I think. Well, I have so enjoyed this conversation, my love. And I said
Same.
totally butchered your name, and I'm sorry, but I'm probably not
Okay.
the one, huh?
It's okay. Everyone does. You can just take off the C and make it like an H, and it'll be
Yeah,
easier.
Haya,
There you go.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Haya. Um, that's cool. And what is you always been Jewish?
Yeah. My whole life I was born that way. And I love it. My grandparent was a Holocaust survivor. So,
Wow.
I heard really intense stories. And I was in Israel on October 7th, and the media is totally run by Hamas. So the what America thinks is happening is it's almost crazy because it's so far from the truth. But the media in America is controlled by, not to go off on a whole topic, but by the terrorist organizations. But as someone who lived in Israel and was actually in Israel, it's a totally different world. But it's a really powerful thing to be connected to. Really, they're really an amazing people. There's no one who's more loving and supportive than the Jewish community. It's built into the education to always be there for each other and be kind to each other. And even in Israel, if a terrorist gets injured, they're treated by the Israeli hospital, which doesn't happen by any, other organization or people. So I'm very grateful to feel that connection to God and just know that we're here to love and love everyone. And
Yeah.
the Jewish religion doesn't believe in conversions. Like we don't have people, we don't try to convert. So we just genuinely love as is. It's a really powerful space.
Ooh. I mean, I love that. Like, I love the lineage.
Yeah.
I would have loved to be raised up in that lineage. It's so cool. Do you honor all the Levi why am I not thinking of the word? The Levitical law, the food the food stuff?
Is that like kosher?
Yeah.
I mean, I do, yeah. So me and my husband, we weren't, we both
So he's
became more
Jewish too.
observant. Yeah, I'm very, as Warren Buffett says, how did I become so successful? I learned at how like I studied all businesses that failed. So part of my expertise is that you need to have the same spiritual blueprint if you're really going to have that unification of spiritual
Yeah.
growth over time. And he is, and we teach our children and we celebrate the same things, and we're very much, again, surrender. Like I trust him fully with what he's teaching my children without a conversation. So he is also, and we do keep kosher and all this stuff. I just paid $500 to go to Dave Meltzer's VIP dinner, but I can't eat a darn thing. But it's
Oh,
okay. You go for the
you
networking.
could drink the water.
I'm just saying, like, it is part of my life, but like with pleasure and full acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you so much for coming on. I'm gonna I thank you so much for coming on. I thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. And I thank you so much for you stepping into your gifts and doing your thing and showing up in the world and helping others to create the life and the love that they really want.
Thank you so much for hosting. You are beautiful. I look forward to collabing with you. Your space is amazing. I'm so glad we can sync in the same like universal spiritual space of just helping people learn that they're lovable.
Yeah.
It is the very core to sustainable success in every area. So I'm so honored to have had this opportunity to chat, and I look forward to more.
Yes.